So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, I know it's been like a minute since I've actually done like a sit down video, but as some of you guys may or may not have known, I was suffering last week. And thank you guys so much for all the well wishes. I read all of those comments and you guys are so sweet. Like, y'all really care about my well-being and I really appreciate that. But yes, if you didn't know, your girl was suffering from food poisoning last week. And yeah, it was pretty bad for that one day. And I kicked it though. After one day, I spoke to my aunt. She made me make some tea that Haitian people traditionally make. And I drank that tea, I knocked out, and then I woke up and I was not all better, but I was about like 70% there. And you know, I was good enough that the next day was like Labor Day weekend and I participated fully in that, okay? Okay, so today I'm gonna do something. It's not really that different because it still involves like spooky stories. But I guess today the video style is a little bit different than usual. Because usually I just tell you guys one long story. But this time I'm thinking about bringing back the different stories in one video. So I have so many different like short story submissions. They're so short that like it wouldn't do one video. So I'm like, okay, what if I just do like as many short stories as I can in like one video, but I'm not gonna do that many short stories in that video. In this particular video, I'm only gonna do like 4 stories, and the 4th one is a bonus. Okay. Oh, the theme is because I want to theme this one because all the story submissions that I went through, I'm trying to like theme them by categories. And this category is, did I accidentally manifest somebody else's downfall? And I'm going to let you guys be the judge of that. So the first one is, did I do something to my boss by accident? So basically this girl, we're going to call her Tasha. So Tasha was in the Navy, right? And she says she's also never spoken about this to anybody, so she just submitted the story. So she's in the Navy and she had this boss that was like so uptight. Like, I don't know if y'all ever had like any bosses like that are just like on you about every single thing. Tasha says, is that her actual name? No, it's not. So we can't call her. We can call this girl Natasha, yes. So Natasha's boss was like really like egging, like micromanaging her every moves, like everything she's doing. Like, this girl says she literally couldn't even go to the bathroom without this man like, yo, like, what are you doing, you know? And so this man would continually go on to make Natasha feel very uncomfortable. Now, mind you, keep in mind, yes, she is in the Navy. So when I say job, I'm referring to whatever it is that she had to do while she was in the Navy. So it's like, you know, this guy is just on her like OD. But it's not even just that, because she starts to feel uncomfortable from this man. She starts to feel this vibe from him that like, nah, something's not safe about this guy. So one night she goes to sleep in her tank, I guess she says in her rack. So she went to sleep in her rack, which is basically a room in a ship. So while she's in the rack, she starts praying to God, and she's like, God, if there's anybody that does not have my best interest at heart, or that wants to harm me in any way, or that has any malintent against me, you are going to remove them from my life in any way, shape, or form. And however manner you choose to do so, you are going to get rid of this person from me. So she said, cool. She fell asleep like chanting that, like she was basically, it was an exact thing. She said, whoever has ill intentions or mean me harm, I bind and cast them out. She repeated that over and over and fell asleep instantly. The following day she woke up. It was weird because her top lip was swollen. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's not. Cool. Didn't think anything of it because the swollenness went down throughout the course of the day. Fast forward to I think like a week, she said, a few days later. So after she woke up with the swollen lip, it went down, and a few days after that, the boss that was on her OD, that was like, you know, the micromanaging boss, somehow this man fell sick. He fell so sick that he had to leave the ship. what's wrong with him? Nobody knows. He suddenly came down with some unknown illness, and he was doing so bad that he had to get off the trip. So then one of the other, higher ups basically went and spoke to everybody and was like, right now he just needs to get off the ship to make sure his health is okay, but he'll be back. The point is, this guy was stressing that other man was going to be back. And well, yeah, he never came back. So she never heard from him again. So was it the prayer? Was it not the prayer? Ooh, actually, this makes me want to share a story. Now, I'm going to share a story. I didn't even see this coming. Wow, because I had my little things to share, but that story just made me think of my own story. Because, y'all, when they say make that little prayer to God, you know that prayer I'm talking about, right? The prayer that's like, God, if this person is not meant to be in my life, please remove them. God will absolutely remove that person from your life. I have fallen victim, or I guess blessed, from that prayer. Because the first time that happened, I made the mistake of saying that prayer. It was around the time that I was dating somebody that was really toxic. Like, y'all, I had no business being in that situationship. It wasn't even a relationship. It was a situationship. I had no business being in that situationship. But there I was there, right? And we just kept coming back to each other. And then one day, like, we had gotten back together and everything in my life was going pretty normal, pretty regular. And then I was like, you know what? I just feel like I need to say this prayer. I need to ask God, like, if there's anybody that does not belong in my life. Because, again, I've always been very success-driven in my life. So I've always, like, looked forward to something big happening. And whenever I feel stuck in life, it has to be for a reason. So I made that little prayer. I said, God, if there's anybody that's not supposed to be in my life right now, you're going to remove them out of my life. The following day, I get a text message from the person I was in the situation with. We gotta talk. What do we have to talk about? And this person sits me down and basically breaks my heart for the 199th time that month. So, yeah. And I was left. And then we did get back together. But that's another story for another day. Boom. The second time that I said that prayer. Now, this was a pretty transitional moment in my life. So this happened back in 2020, actually. So this time, if you follow my TikTok, then you know I made the story time about this girl called She Who Shall Not Be Named. And She Who Shall Not Be Named was basically the person who really got me, like, I guess, acclimated into business. Like, she was really welcoming when I first met her. And she was also really helpful. And we were also fucking. So, I got to learn a lot. And also, yeah, you really should not shit where you eat. Like, they say that for a reason. But me at the time, I was young and turned, and I was just gonna do what I wanted to do. And I felt like I was the exception to the rule. Like, I feel like I know what everybody says, but, like, I'm the exception. Like, this is gonna work out. We might even move on to have, like, a great relationship together. But what I did not see coming was this girl. First of all, she was greedy, because for a lot of she wanted to merge her business with my business, but she wanted to be the sole person receiving most of the payments from both businesses and both services that both businesses were providing. And for whatever reason, I was so blinded that I genuinely thought that was a good idea. Among other things, like, this girl was extremely toxic and just like she's done so many things that my friend decided to call her or refer to her as She Who Shall Not Be Named. Like, that's how low this girl went, but this is not what this video is about. Point is, we were about to get into a business deal together, and everything was going great between, like, we actually had, like, a really good streak, like, in our relationship. We're about to do this business deal together, and I'm in Philly, and I'm just, like, in this, like, I guess, waiting moment before we officially agree that we're gonna merge our businesses together and all of that. We had just gotten off the phone talking about how exciting this is for the both of us. And cool. Before I go to sleep, I decided, you know what? Let me just make this little prayer, because I'm about to step into a new stage in my life, and I want God to remove anyone and anything that is not meant to be in my life for me. So I closed my eyes. and do the handy dandy little prayer. God, anybody who's not meant to be in my life, you're going to remove them from my life. And this is the first time that prayer worked instantly. When I tell y'all, I had just gotten off the phone with She Who Shall Not Be Named, excited and everything, and I'm like, yeah, cool. Do my little prayer, because I'm about to start this new business venture that I'm excited about, that's going to bring me so much money and everything that I want. And then I do my little prayer, and then I open my eyes, and then phone's ringing. Pick up the phone. She Who Shall Not Be Named is FaceTiming me. So I pick up the phone, and we're still off of the high from the last phone call that we had. So we're just talking regular and just talking plans. In some way, somehow, I don't remember how, but the whole conversation done flipped. And when I tell y'all this shit flipped, it took a complete 160 or 360, whatever the rotation is. It flipped, y'all. We went from being happy and excited and celebrating together to now a little argument is starting. To now this little argument that started is now growing. To now this is growing and becoming one of our biggest arguments. To now I am being accused of terrible things. To now I get a text message. Like, it literally went from 0 to 100 really fast. We really stood there on the phone and argued for hours and literally brought up every little thing in our friendship. Well, she's like, well, you did this to me and I didn't like that. Well, you tried to set me up for a threesome and I didn't like that. And it was just like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And my sister was there. She was begging me like, bro, just hang up the phone. Like, you don't have to do this. Point of the story is we got into such a bad screaming match that we decided that it was just not a good idea for us to do business together, and that maybe we should just separate. And then this girl talked about she was going to run me up a bill. Not important. Another story time for another day. But yes, guys, I say that to say, be careful with that little prayer, because it is more powerful than you think. But what happens if you don't even say a prayer, right? You just have the intention and it happens anyway. Then is that still a coincidence? Because I have another submitted story. Let me just go through my little handy dandy phone. I think I killed my husband. Now let's get into that one, because this one was a fascinating one. So this lady was in a relationship with this guy, and they've been together since they were in high school. Now, keep in mind, it's a messy situation because she was best friends with this girl in high school. So it was the two of them together, and she was the more, I guess you could say demure friend, you know? She had the precious cargo. So she wasn't going around giving it up to everybody. She wasn't slinging it free. The girl who accidentally goes on to kill her husband wasn't out there slinging it free. However, the best friend was a little bit different. She was a little bit more out there. She was a little bit more $2 hoe-ish, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, the best friend was very open with guys, and she was already having sex and all of that stuff. So when they were about like 16, 17, her best friend starts dating this guy and starts putting a lot of pressure on her, and is like, yo, you know, where's your man? Like, girl, we've been like, you know, in this high school experience together. You haven't even lost your virginity. Like, what's the tea? What's going on? Like, you should start dating. So, you know, because she wasn't really out there like that, like, dating was kind of like a uncomfortable thing for her. But she was like, damn, you know, it's kind of getting to her, because like everybody else around her, at least at that point, even if they weren't having sex, they at least had like, or at least were talking to somebody, or at least had interest in somebody. And so she really felt like, damn, she really needed to hurry this up and like get herself a man. So then the guy that her best friend was dating at the time, they start having this on and off relationship. So they break up. And then while they broken up, you know, because this girl is still out there, she's still going around talking to other guys. And now she's not really feeling that, because she's just like, damn, like, I guess you're just taking all the men. Like, the girl who goes on to, you know, I need to come up with a name. We're going to go with Killer for a girl who winds up killing her husband, and Best Friend. So Killer's thinking like, damn, bitch, like, you really just have all these niggas on lock. And, you know, best friend, damn, that took me a while to remember. Killer and best friend. So Killer's like, damn, bitch, you really got all these niggas in town. And best friend is really just like, yeah, you know, like, I'm not really letting the guys stress me. But, you know, it's time for you to get in the game, girl. Like, you know, start doing your thing. Start doing your thing. Drop that. You know, at least get you a man. So Killer's like, okay, bet. So then, while they were broken up, while best friend and best friend's man was broken up, Killer decides, you know, since you've been pressuring me to get a man, I am gonna get a man. I'm gonna get your man. So Killer decides to start dating or start talking to best friend's boyfriend in high school. So then they go on to get together. So then they became a power couple together in high school. So no shit, Killer and best friend done fell out. So now, Killer goes on to actually build a whole relationship with this boy. So it went far beyond like high school. And come to find out, the reason why she went on to actually hold on to this man for that long was because she stole the man from her best friend. People were basically starting rumors about her and also saying that the relationship wasn't gonna last. Like, you basically home wrecked your best friend out of a man. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody was bad-minding them, like basically saying like, this relationship is not gonna work out. And so because of the extreme pride that Killer had, Killer was determined to make that relationship work. Even if there were early signs of like red flags, like, you know, if you can so easily steal a man from another, like, he was never yours. You feel me? Like, the same way you get him is the same way you lose him type shit. So that man was for the streets. But Killer was determined to hold on to that man. Killer was determined to make that relationship work against everybody's judgment and against what everybody had to say. So much so that they went on and got married. So much so that they went on and had children together. So much so now, fast forward, they're in their late 20s. They are 2 kids in together. They are late 20s about to turn, late 20s about to turn 30. So late 20s about to turn 30. They had, Killer had just given birth to her second child. And at this point, she's like a stay-at-home mom, and they had like a traditional relationship. So he was the breadwinner, and she basically stayed home. But eventually, dude started becoming aggressive. Well, it's not really an eventually thing because, like, dude has been physical with her in the past. But towards their late 20s is when the physicality in their relationship seriously became a theme of their relationship. So this man was putting his hands on her, and then on top of that, they were like throwing insults at each other like it was crazy. So Killer had opened up to him about really like dark stuff that happened to her in the past, like, you know, having been raped before, unfortunately. And the husband would just continuously just throw that in her face, like, and that's why you got raped. Like, so like their arguments would get really heated, really toxic, and just really, really bad. It would be putting hands on each other and all of that, until eventually husband winds up meeting another female and leaves Killer for the next female. And when he left Killer for the next female, he basically cut her off cold turkey. And keep in mind, you kind of can't do that, sir. You got 2 kids with Killer. So it's like, where did you think he was really gonna go? Well, he didn't give a fuck that he had 2 kids with Killer, because he was so over Killer's relationship that he literally jumped shit. He was like, I'm gonna freaking mail you everything divorce related. I am out of here. Killer, all she knew was she came home one day and her husband was packed and ready to bounce. And her husband bounced with the next bitch. Again, same way you get him. Yeah, I can say it with me. Same way you lose them. So boom, nigga left with the next bitch, and now Killer's sitting by herself with her dick in her hands and 2 kids. So she was like, damn, like, so she grew this overwhelming disdain for her ex-husband, well, her now ex-husband. And she said she hated him so much for everything that he had put her through, and for everything that, like, she held that man down for so long. And now, like, it's also like embarrassment too, because it's like they didn't last. Like, they did last, but like they didn't last, because like, wow. So because of the pure disdain that she had for her husband, she started literally manifesting this man's death. Yeah. She said literally she woke up every day and said, I hope he dies. I wish this man dies. I wish something, like, she said every single day she woke up, every day that God breathed life into her body, she wished death upon this man. And she said eventually, a year later, the man got into a fatal motorcycle accident. Like, it was fatal. Like, upon impact, the dude was dead. Again, coincidence? You guys tell me. The next story is, drum roll please, I think I ruined my sister's relationship. That one was also a good one. It was these two siblings, right? So the first sibling, so these two siblings had like a pretty good relationship together. So not twins or anything, literally just siblings. They would hang out with each other all the time, and they would smoke together, they would sip together, all of that good stuff, all of that good sauce. And they said that they had such a close-knit, whoa, I can't even talk today. That they had such a close-knit relationship that, like, they didn't keep any secrets from each other. So anybody that she was dating, her sister would know. Like, they both knew about each other's relationships. So it was just like, cool. It was the two of them for a very long time. Neither of them was dating anybody, so that was the norm of the relationship. Up until her sister started seeing this guy. So we're gonna call Jenny, and we're gonna call her the other friend Relly. So Jenny, Relly. So we're gonna say Relly starts seeing this guy, and Jenny starts being extremely jealous that Relly is seeing this guy, because it's like, damn, you're seeing him, but you're like not spending as much time with me. Because it's like, you know, we used to link up every day to Scythe, but now they're not linking up every day to Scythe. Or if they do link up to smoke, the nigga's there. So Jenny started to feel uncomfortable by the situation. Like, okay, well, is he always going to be around? And then on top of that, she didn't really like the guy that Jenny was bringing, that Relly was bringing around. So Jenny's feeling like, you're bringing this bum. I don't like him. And she goes to voice, so Jenny goes to voice to Relly how she feels about the man. And Relly's pretty much like, you know, like, you might be right, he might be a bum, but like, I like him. Like, I like that bum. And Jenny is just not liking it. Jenny is just not understanding why that relationship would work out. She said she didn't like the guy's like lifestyle at all. Like, he was like a gang related guy. He had been to prison before and all of that. And then on top of that, he already had children from a previous relationship. And so Jenny's looking at Relly like, girl, you could do so much better. So I don't like this for you. But the guy, when he came around, he was bringing around free bud, free weed. And so it was just like, well, at least, you know, he's giving something. But Relly seemed to really hit it off with him. So much so that Jenny winds up falling out with Relly. And they fell out so bad, they got into this verbal argument where, mind you, they both live in the same house, right? But like, so much so that they stopped speaking to each other for like months at a time. It would just avoid each other, like, at any point. Like, family dinners, like, they would literally not interact with each other. Their relationship literally went sour. They were so close, and their relationship went completely sour. And Jenny felt like, even though the argument got started over something completely unrelated to the boyfriend, she felt like the boyfriend had something to do with this. She felt like before the boyfriend came in the picture, Jenny and Relly were extremely close. Like, when I said they had a decent relationship before, they were really close. Like, they told each other everything. They linked up every day. They had a great relationship with each other. But the only thing that changed was this random guy that Relly started dating. once this random guy came into the equation, Relly and Jenny's relationship then started becoming very rocky. So the big argument, the straw that broke the camel's back, even though it had nothing to do with the guy, it's kind of like Jenny starts realizing, bro, ever since this guy came around, it's been weird. Like, it's been really, really weird. So then Jenny starts to feel like, damn, she fell out with her sister. Her sister and her, because they said so many hurtful things towards one another, she's starting to doubt like they can actually work on their relationship again and become as close, at least as they were before. So she's like, you know what? Like, out of anger and out of pain, so the fight went so bad. The fight went so deep that the boyfriend even got, the last fight got so bad that the boyfriend even got involved. So they fell out. No, let me get this straight. You're gonna have to cut all this out. So when they fell out, right, they weren't talking to each other for months, and they're living in the same house. Been months at this point, until one day the boyfriend comes over, and she says, Jenny says, even though the boyfriend comes over quite kind of often, that day Jenny had a little bit of liquor in her system, so she decided to go outside and say something to the boyfriend. So when she went outside to say something to the boyfriend, her sister came outside, and when her sister came outside, it turned into yet another argument. But this time, both of the sisters got physical with each other, and that's something that they never did. They never got physical with one another. And when they got physical with each other, the boyfriend jumped in the situation and tried to separate them, but the way he was doing it, he was kind of like more violent towards Jenny, of course. And then the boyfriend got involved and cussed Jenny out in Jenny's own house. Like, the boyfriend cussed Jenny out. And while he was cussing Jenny out and yelling at Jenny, Relly wasn't doing anything about it, because obviously they had just gotten into a physical fight. So Relly was letting her boyfriend let Jenny have it. And because Jenny was just like, yo, you really fucking did it. Jenny literally decided that she was going to wish that their relationship breaks up completely. So Jenny returns to her room and she's like, bro, before this man came in, me and my sister, everything was chilling. We never had this much problem. Now my sister's we don't putting hands on each other basis. Like, she's really coming to terms that her relationship with her sister might actually be over. So she decides that she's gonna start manifesting their downfall. She says she woke up every day and wished that her sister's relationship with her husband would fall out. With her boyfriend would fall out. She said every day she woke up, she says, God, like, she wished bad on them. She said she bad mind them. Every day she bad mind that relationship. She said every day she saw them, bad mind. And then she said eventually, like, that relationship started becoming literally like so bad. Whereas the man would come over before, he would go to her room, nobody would even really notice. Now at this point, a year in, oh my goodness, it is screaming matches like every other day. This girl says it's literally screaming matches every other day. And not only that, even though things haven't gotten physical between the man and the sister, she overhears what the sister and her man are fighting about, and it's about other women. Now there's other women in the relationship. Other women are a factor in this relationship. And now the sister is too in love to like let this man go, and now her sister keeps taking this man back, but that wasn't really the plan. But the relationship ultimately is in turmoil. But what she didn't see coming was her sister still being in the relationship. So yeah, she just says she just hopes that her man doesn't put his hands on her sister. So, well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know how you guys felt about these types of, like, because I know these are not like really spooky, creepy. I know these are not that creepy or that spooky or that scary, but let me know how you guys feel about this version or this sport. Wow, I can't even talk. I'm really so tired, you guys. I can't even talk. This is how you know I'm back at work. Let me know how you guys felt about this video. Leave a comment down below, because I know you guys like the longer content and the longer stories. I was trying to like tell as many as I can, because I know there's so many submissions that are still waiting to be told, and I'm trying my best to go through them as much as I can. And the short ones I get submitted are too short for TikTok. I've just decided to put all of them on here together. What I did not see coming was me sharing two experiences of my own. I genuinely hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you guys so much. We are so close to 20,000 subscribers. I really can't even believe I'm saying this. It's September. I really started this whole thing. Well, was it in May? March? I don't remember. I think it was March. Like, I started this whole thing in March, and I became monetizable, I think, like, in May. And you guys have seriously turned me up. You guys are the best audience in the world. You guys are my favorite. I love you, my abducted humans. I cannot show you guys enough appreciation and enough love. Like, I love interacting with you guys. When you guys leave comments down below, I see them. Oh, and you guys, like, Nikita, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, Nikita. I'm gonna know if you watch this video whole way through. I know her name because literally she leaves a comment and she has her post notifications on. Like, every time I drop, I know Nikita's gonna be the number, like, she's gonna be there first, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not to forget everybody else who showed me so much love. There's so many of you guys, but I'm just saying, like, Nikita, like, she go crazy, she go off. So thank you guys so much. Again, I love y'all. I love each and every single last one of you guys, seriously. If you guys are not already, please make sure you're following me on Instagram, because your girl's trying to get out the hood with brand deals. So if you truly want to support me and be a great supporter like our girl Nikita, please go ahead and follow me on Instagram. And not only that, but please interact with my content on Instagram as well, just so, you know, I can get my interactions up, and that when those brands look at my Instagram page, they're like, you know what, yeah, we'll work with her, I guess. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Genuinely, we're close to 20,000 subscribers. I am humbled. I feel great. You guys are the best ever. I'm not gonna stay for long. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.